What is up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Flowty Live. We are back with our community roundtable. My name is Ben Kukainis, head of marketing and comms for Flowty. You can follow me at We Go Live in 5, here with our main man Trevor at James Dillon-Bond, and our special guest Dumbo at L Dumbo TS. How's it going, guys?
It's good.
Man, it's hot here in Portland.
Hot in Portland. I forget, Dumbo, where are you located?
I'm homeless, so I'm always traveling. Currently, I'm in like the LA area, but
okay, gotcha.
Probably.
Oh man, it's another West Coasters teaming up on me. I'm getting tired of this.
This guy's all over the place. He can't affiliate with just like the West Coast.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I feel like my main one is Mexico, is my home base, but I've not been there for a few months, so I don't know when I'll be back there. But yeah, I don't know. If anyone has a couch that I can crash on, just let me know. That'd be great. I'll just go there.
You just let me know when you come out to Philly.
Oh, I mean, probably
I've offered the couch up to this guy like 5 times, and yet every time he's just like, "Yeah, no, dog, not Portland."
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for like beach vibes. I want someone who's like in Dubai and they're like, "Yeah, I got a couch. Come on over." You know, that's what I'm going.
Oh, yeah. No, not here. Sorry, that's not our setup.
All right, you guys got the Jersey beach, which is a little bit better than the Oregon coast, just to be completely honest.
No,
it's pretty cold on the Oregon coast.
So Jersey Shore is very much I guess generalized because of the show and stuff. But the further down south you go, like I go down, if you look at the map on Jersey, the little knob at the bottom, that's where I go, and there is like no groups of teenagers and 20s and stuff getting smashed and all of that. It is nice and quiet. But let's get into it. So before we start talking with Trevor and our guest, let me just do the usual, flash our financial disclosure that this program and all subsequent postings and publications resulting from it is not to be construed as financial advice. Please caution and operate within a budget that suits you when transacting on Flowty, including purchasing, offering, renting, loaning, borrowing. Flowty does not provide financial advice or recommendations. Getting that out of the way. But now here's the fun stuff. So we're giving away some dust, some Flowtar dust, and a Io Desunmu triple badge.
How you pronounce that?
Desunmu. Yeah, Io Desunmu. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah. Believe me, I mean, he was at Illinois. I'm a big Big Ten fiend, so I heard that enough. But we'll get into
Oregon fan then, obviously.
Gotta rep the Big Ten. So we'll be getting into some trivia, and then so for the Desunmu, I forget who suggested it last time, but someone said there should be a trivia question where I just grab something random from the house, and someone on the screen has to guess it, like an everyday item. So it is in my pocket, and we'll do that later. I'll give you hints though. All right, let's get into it. So yeah, Trev, I might have you take it away as an introduction for our guest, and also since I have a bit of a swollen throat, it is what it is. So yeah, welcome and take it away, Trevor.
Well, I'm glad we're all side by side, just virtually then, as you're sick, because I'm feeling good and I don't need to get sick before a wedding I'm going into this weekend. But I know with us we got Dumbo, the guy who just does a little bit of everything on Web3. Somehow we've been able to avoid him being a moderator in Flowty, and we might be the only platform to have avoided this curse. So I guess just right from the top, like, how the hell did you end up here in like the Web3 space? Like it's very broad, very general, but like what brought you here?
Oh, I mean, first of all, it's funny because it was, I guess, months ago, but 3 months ago, 2 months ago, I had you on my podcast. That's currently on ice. I'm too busy. And so it's funny to flip it around. And now I'm trying to think, was I a good host? So I put him on the spot, because if I did, then you're going to put me on the spot. So now I'm a little bit nervous trying to remember how nice I was to you then. It's going to dictate how nice you are to me. So Ben, you might have to jump in. If Trevor starts getting rowdy, you're going to have to jump in, Ben, all right?
I did send Trevor a message beforehand. I said, one minor thing. No F-bombs. No F-bombs.
Oh, bro, I'm definitely dropping some F-bombs.
No, this is a family-friendly NFT show, okay? So, no, it's funny you mention that, because like I said in the chat, like I was like, I'm totally good with doing something freeform. But yes, I know Trevor has a slight agenda. Some excellent questions he typed up. So let's get into it.
All right, fair enough. So the question was, how did I get into Web3, right? I mean, the short version is it was like January 2021. 2021. And a couple of my mates back in the UK had been into Top Shot for a minute. Some of them had been like in the early 2020 closed beta, right? And I'd ignored them talking about it. They'd been talking about crypto kitties, and I ignored them back then. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever, right? Like,
same
what's
here.
an NFT? Like, who wants that? Yeah, I was like, this is crazy, right?
I think I saw a Top Shot. I think I saw a Top Shot moment in like October of 2020, and I was like, oh, this is so stupid. And then here we are, maybe 6 figures deep again.
So that's funny, because for me, so my mate hit me up, and I won't shout him out because I don't know if he wants me to dox him, but he's a sound guy, and he's actually from hometown as well. So shout out to him, unnamed, but shout out to him. And he hit me up and was like, you got to check out this Top Shot thing. And I was like, I don't know, it just sounds dumb. He was like, just make an account and go look at it. And that's like more or less what he pushed me to do. And for me, the moment I saw a Top Shot moment, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, we're done. Game over. This is it. And I just, max deposited for like 5 days in a row. Went super hard. Back then, packs were just on sale. You could buy them. I remember it was kind of like the last time, because it was right before that article went out where like loads of people joined. Like, it was literally just happen chance that like I joined 2 or 3 days before. So I was like, oh, this is kind of a small group. Let's see what's going on. To, oh my God, everyone's talking about this. This is crazy. Yeah. So I just bought like a bunch of packs. Back then I knew very little about basketball. I've always picked up a decent amount over the last couple of years. I still wouldn't call myself like a big fan of basketball or the NBA. So my strategy was just to buy the moments of players that I'd heard of, because I figured if I've heard of them, they're a big name. And it worked out, and I went pretty hard. And then a couple months later, I was really involved in the Discord. They offered me, hey, do you want to be a volunteer mod? I was like, sure. And then a month or two after that, they were like, do you want to join part-time? I was like, sure. And then once I got in, they couldn't really get rid of me. And so now I've just been kind of like sneaking my way in time and time again. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it happened. It was all, at the time, it just really took over, because I didn't have a job before. I was just doing my own thing online. So I had all the free time in the world and a decent bit of disposable income to kind of go hard on NFTs. Admittedly, maybe I didn't spend that money in the best way. Shout out to a lot of projects I brought.
Show me someone who did. Show me someone who did.
If you were buying at that time, maybe.
But like, I mean, more so like, less so like not a project that's around now. I feel like I waste any money buying a project that's still doing stuff, because that's more like a macro market situation. Sure. I think it's more, I bought into some NFT projects that like I knew were sketchy. We all knew were sketchy. But if it's not, if it pays off, So I think like that was more the dumb decisions. Like, I don't personally regret buying the NFTs that perhaps have dropped in value now, because I didn't buy them expecting that I could sell them the next day for twice as much or in 6 months' time. It was, I believe in this long term, and that's still the case, at least for the majority of them, right? So, but yeah, that's kind of how I got into Web3, and then started working at Dapper, and basically the rest is history, I guess.
And now Flow is trying to do, like you said, they couldn't get rid of you, so now Flow is like, oh man, we can't get rid of this guy either.
Pretty much.
He does everything though. That's just the crazy part. Is like there was a year stretch there. I felt like where any new Discord I joined, the last announcement made was probably from El Dumbo, and then like, I'm jumping in this hero Discord and like. Just a million other projects, and even if they weren't even affiliated with Flow, all of a sudden I see this guy's face in there.
I got pretty active. Go on, Ben.
No, I got to point out real quick, Diamond's comment that we got the coach and 2 pickup basketball players ready to go. That's a classic. I'm the non-jersey.
It's the OG Cool Cats
No,
jerseys.
are you? But oh man, yeah.
Shout out to Diamond, by the way. I'm a big Diamond fan. I think he knows this, but he's doing some cool stuff. So shout out to Diamond.
Yeah,
Diamond's good people.
Just talked to him yesterday, so yeah, we're gonna try to get some stat tools and dashboards developed with Diamond and via Flipside Crypto in the near future. So,
and we talk about the West Coast bias. Diamond's right here contributing with us. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I just need to see Celibert pop in on one of these streams because I've never know exactly where he is, but he's usually either like 10 hours ahead or 10 hours behind or something like that. Dumbo, I'm curious, when you got onto Flow, like what did you start doing with Flow compared to, I guess, how your role has changed to now?
Ah, man, that's an interesting question. I mean, so for context, so I was on Top Shot as like community rep, then community manager, and I did that for like about a year and a bit, and then I started doing some Flow stuff, and then I did a little bit of like jumping between as and when was needed, and then like last summer, I think it was, I kind of moved over to Flow more as my full-time focus. So I kind of left the Dapper team and moved to the Flow team, right? The Dapper Sports team, and then this year I'm now like. It's so messy, to be honest. Not messy for everyone else. Everyone else, super simple. This is your role. This is it. But I just jump about as and when it makes sense. But right now, my focus is fully on the Flow team. And I'm doing like more so marketing stuff than just what I was doing before, which was pure community. But obviously, when it comes to marketing in Web3, especially on like a blockchain level, community and marketing go hand in hand. Like there's no market without community in Web3. There's no community without marketing. So it really does go hand in hand. So I think when I say marketing, I'm not like doing the sort of like the classical Web2 marketing. We have other people doing that. I'm more doing the community-driven marketing aspects, if that makes sense.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well, so no, I can relate to that because traditional marketing has a place in Web3, but like you can't have the same, I guess, philosophy with marketing and like the same campaigns that in Web3 that you would normally do in Web2. Like, frankly, when it comes to Flowty marketing, it's mainly like community and project / collection marketing, because that is how you drive the ecosystem and the traffic.
Exactly. Like if you think of like a marketing team, right? This is very much not how simple it is, but you're going to have someone who handles like, oh, I'm going to do the press release to the big companies, right? When like Google's launching a feature, we're going to do a press release to all our partners, and then we're going to have someone who reached out to developers, and then someone who reached out to community, right? And their point of view in like more of a Web2, Google's not a great example of this, but a Web2 company, probably their community point of view is like, oh, we're just going to tweet about it, and that's it. But I think in the Web3, when we say we're going to do something community, we're like, well, let's start telling them now. Let's partner up with them on the announcement. Let's, maybe give them a grant to start building on this new feature right away so we can like co-opt it together rather than just one person. I mean, look, shout out to Flowty. One of the big things, and we can talk more about this, one of the big things that Flow team have been working on is account linking and hybrid custody. And the reason that like I'm shouting out Flowty is because your lead developer, Austin, has been like a key part of that. Like it was built because of Austin. If we're being honest, like account linking happened because of the work of Austin, right? Don't get me wrong, there's Flow devs as well that did a bunch of work. My colleagues are like, yo, I just worked like 6 months straight on this. But the reality is that like Austin gave a point of view and a bunch of input and work that was super impactful. And so when I say marketing with community, it's like, well, we're building with community. Let's talk about that. Let's market with community as well. It kind of all ties in together,
I mean, Austin actually, he's like top 5 smartest people I know. And
also West Coast bias. Austin up in Seattle.
All right, okay, so I'm gonna have to rally the troops. Wait, Boston base is in here. I'm gonna count Mike. I don't think Mike's in here, but I'm gonna count him anyways. And then Nantucket is in here, and so
he's a West Coast guy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nantucket is on the East Coast. Okay, so we're gonna. All right, so we'll call that a draw. I was gonna say
Portland area.
What's that?
So Nantucket's a Portland area guy.
All right, so then I know, but the town of Nantucket.
Oh, Nantucket. I don't know. There might be more than one of them.
Yeah, actually, there probably is. There probably is.
There's also Portland, Maine. I guess I didn't specify.
Portland, Maine. Yeah, exactly. We had who's requesting? Oh yeah, Diamond was requesting Pyland news, and maybe before we get into that, if you can just, I guess, go a little bit into the ideation behind Pyland, perhaps.
What the hell is Pyland?
The TLDR in the process. No, so I mean, one of my initial thoughts was, I was like, the hell is this? And then I saw more and more of them and had more and more complex backgrounds, and I was like, okay, this is a good combination of appealing and like wacky at the same time. So if you could share with our viewers a bit more about Pyland.
Sure, mate. You got me putting on all my different hats today. I mean, first of all, shout out to Diamond for referencing it, bringing it up. That's dope. So yeah, Pyland, for context, for anyone not aware, it's like one of my other projects. So it's not affiliated with Dapper Flow in any way.
Right.
It's on the ETH blockchain. And it was a project I launched with two of my co-founders about, what was it, a year and a half ago? I'm so off with dates today. I don't know why. I'm so like unsure on dates. But about a year and a half ago, last February, we announced it in December, launched February and March time. And basically the idea is that it's kind of an outlet for creativity. That's how I kind of would explain it to people, where like all my other work is more like the 9-to-5 style stuff. And this is like, hey, we just built a world where we can create stories within it. Yeah. And so it's Octopi is what we call it, because it's octopus meets pie. It's a lot of puns going on as well, just for clarity.
And basically, it's a great name for it. Yeah,
it's just great. And so we've got an incredible artist, and he did a bunch of great artwork for it. And then we created an NFT collection out of that artwork. And there's all these different factions within the world, and they're currently going through this big adventure. But there's also a bunch of like lore, backstory, and side stories going on as well. And I won't go into too much, because I could literally talk about it for hours. I get really excited talking about it, because it's like, to me, it's just about having fun, building a world that our community can take part in and see. And for example, we rolled out a feature where you can change the bio and the name of your NFT. So you can then start building the lore in the world within the collection yourself. And that's just like one example of it. And right now, one of the things we're doing actually, there's two things. One, we launched like a burning competition for like the first time ever, just to kind of see how the community would react, because each of the NFTs are really cool. They look very special. So we don't expect that many people to burn, but we wanted to give it as an option to see, to kind of like mix things up. So the community is kind of excited by something new happening, which we try to do at least like once a month, to be honest. And then the other thing is today, I literally just announced this. Nan took it. Oh, I love you, brother. I love you. It's just a camera, mate. That's all. Today we've just announced a bit of a rebranding, not rebranding, but a touch up to our branding to focus more on what we've got coming up soon. Which I don't want to give away too much alpha, but we're launching like this whole board game and this whole outreach to non-Web3 people, where the board game becomes like, oh, you like board games, can play this game. Oh, as you play the game, I don't know if either of you play board games or games in general, but games are a great way for you to like learn a story or a world or a universe without realizing that you're learning. Like if I was to talk about, I mean, movies do it as well. So like Star Wars, there's some people that can like pull out facts about how the Force works because they've watched a bunch of movies, right? But games do it in an even more immersive way, where I'm familiar with certain lore or history or real life information because of playing video games. And so the hope is that the board game becomes a way for people to get immersed in this universe, want to learn and consume more, and then they go on and join, the collection and figure out what else we've got going on and the next big thing we've got coming, etc. So really excited for that. But I won't talk too much more about it. Although if anyone wants to know more, you can just DM me or go to pyland.io. We've actually got a new website coming out as well. I don't think it's live just yet. So that's coming soon.
I love that
this. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just going to quickly ask, like, how have you found marketing to Web3 or to Web2 for Web3 products? I mean, personally, I find it a challenge. And the question, I think a common question that we ask ourselves is, okay, we have this built-in community. Do we put the marketing resources into the already established community to keep them and I guess to build up and maybe slowly spread word of mouth? Or do we, devote resources to drawing new, Web 2 people in? And it's a really fine balance. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it's something that evolves over time. This is my 2 cents. And I don't think anyone solved it properly. I think we've seen people that have managed to create buzz in a moment and people that have managed to create sustained hype and excitement for a period of months, but has anyone really cracked it? I don't think so. And I think that's why it's fun to be in this space. I think that's why it's so exciting. Is the best way to market to empower our users and community, or is our best way to market to get a bunch of merch and jump in streams? Like, who knows? Shout out to JDB for that. He's right, Trevor, you're right. Anyway, so like, I think it's a tough question in the sense that we don't actually know the answer. And we isn't me as the team. We isn't like we as a community. We have we have seen, like, 2021, the space blew up. Is why I'm here, right? Will that happen again this year or next year or 2025? I think the answer is both yes and no. Like, yes, we definitely will see that growth and eruption again, but nobody really knows what's going to cause it. Right now, a lot of the Web3 community believe that account abstraction, if that gets solved, maybe that, well, I say if that gets solved, Flow's kind of already solved it, but if that gets solved in general or gets adapted in general and gets used in general, maybe that brings the next few million users. But maybe it doesn't. Like, nobody really knows. I think we as a community in Web3 are all kind of betting on each other to figure it out.
Yeah. That makes sense. I was going to say, we're finding out together through trial and error and also through noticing like what others are doing.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
Trevor, what were you going to say before I cut you off? Sorry.
I was going to say, I do love the idea that this is pretty much just a passion project for you guys, and you're taking your passion and trying to figure out what do you like and turning it into its own story, which is what Pyland is. You're creating all this lore that goes with it, taking all these different aspects and really having fun with it. And I think that's something that gets lost at times. I feel like, especially in Web3, is that like, it's supposed to be a little bit of fun. We always look at it through like the financial lens, I feel like, so much. And I know I knew nothing about Pyland. I almost did.
I say that so just to clarify, I say that because it removes one item that we could clip for like social media and stuff, because that's more so, like, it's one thing to do a fun YouTube stream when you launch it on social, though. So like, I would hate it to have to be like, all right, I got to put a bleep in here because this is a perfect quote, but Trevor just dropped 8 F-bombs.
I feel like I'm gonna keep dropping them. You have to remind me. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
No, it's fine.
In mind, but it's hard.
Yeah, I knew nothing about Pyland, initially there, and I think this was before NFT NYC and everything last year, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna mint 2 of these for the culture, and just because I like Dumbo, he's a reasonably cool guy, decent,
tolerable.
I think it's a really interesting point, right? And obviously, I want to be considerate of how I word this. Like, I do think that finances are important. Nobody wants to buy any product and just feel like it's lost value the next day. But there's certain industries where that is normal. Like, take cars. Like, everyone knows you drive a car off the lot and it's worth like half as much, right? But we kind of have gotten used to that. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's what NFTs should aim for. But I think it shows that, like, people still love to get cars. People still love buying and collecting cars. I don't just mean for day-to-day use, but there's still like a collector environment around it. And I think NFTs can learn from that in the sense that, like, you don't have to try and make every NFT be focused on this one element. You can still get that element, but if you're willing to provide the, like, hey, this is fun, this is a creative outlet, the idea here is to like enjoy it and take part in something that's trying to be a little different, then like people will come that want that. If you want to pitch like, oh, this NFT is going to 10x your income, whatever, then say that. To be clear, I don't think anyone should say that because it's impossible to actually do. Yeah. But like, I think projects, my advice to projects, especially in this market, would be like, just pick your lane, stick to that, make it clear, and just do that. Like, you don't want a world where a situation where people come along and they're like, oh, I thought this was all about A, but instead you're all about Z.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst case. Now, if they think you're all about A, you're actually about B, and there's a little bit of crossover, that's fine. But if you're on the other side of the alphabet, then like, you just messed up, in my opinion, as like a founder or a marketer or whatever the role is. So I think we, as people that work in this space, one of the most important things to do is to be upfront about what it is we're trying to achieve and build and work towards, because we all know it's not going to be a linear journey. It's going to be rocky. It's going to be up and downs. But if people know that they're on the right path, then I think that's what really matters.
We feel like we've seen some of that, Trevor, on Flow a bit, where you see a project and perhaps they go into it thinking A, or thinking here's exactly what we're going to do and how to do it, and not realizing that like blockchain projects are an animal, a whole different animal. And if you're not used to it and just trying to jump in for that financial aspect, it's likely to crash and burn, especially in this market.
And I think that's actually like the perfect transition of where I wanted to go next in terms of topics with Dumbo here is, someone who's jumping in and really trying to learn and embrace the Web3 space. Why should a builder want to build on Flow?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think we have to kind of abstract out, like, first of all, why does someone want to build on Web3, right? And there's hundreds of reasons for that. But then, like, that reason is going to determine why they should pick Flow. So if you want to build on Web3 because you believe it's the future, well, like, that's a very vague reason intentionally, right? But let's say someone says, I want to build on Web3. I believe this is the future, so I want to build on blockchain technology in one way or another. But, like, who do you think's going to be the future? The basically the only blockchain that can scale to billions pretty much right away, which is Flow, or the blockchain that is, as soon as it scales to the, like, let's say Ethereum, for example, as soon as it scales to the next million or 2 million or 3 million, it's going to run into the same issues. Gas prices are going to spike. There's going to be more problems with transactions, like, actually going through and stuff like that. Now, arguably, ETH is improving and there are level 2 solutions, but then you take a level 2 solution and it's like, well, every level 2 solution has to give up a significant amount of decentralization. So if you're building to Web3 because you think it's the future, do you think it's the future for the security and decentralization aspects? Then why use a layer 2? That's not long-term thinking. Now, obviously, someone might come along and be like, I'm not worried about 10, 15, 20 years. I'm worried about right now. Still, I would think that Flow is a better choice depending on your goals, right? Like, if you want to do something that's fun and exciting with technology and on-chain logic, Flow is going to be the best way to do it. Now, here's the thing. I do think that if I was to line up 100 people that wanted to launch a project on Web3, I don't think all of them should choose Flow. I'll be honest, because everyone's goals are different. Like, look, I launched Pylon and ETH. Now, part of the reason I did that is because I didn't want the conflict of interest being on the Flow team. It would feel very unjust if I was, like, running Flow Twitter and a project on Flow. It doesn't feel fair.
Yeah.
But that being said, we also had ideas we wanted to build, and we were looking at ETH, and we were like, can we do this? So we actually spent time having our lead dev, shout out Bonfire, scoping out things we wanted to do on Ethereum before we even fully committed to it. So, and we realized it is possible, but I'll tell you this, EVM, it just sucks. Ethereum virtual machine, it really just sucks. Like, Ethereum in general is like a terrible, like, Solidity, the language of Ethereum, is a terrible language to learn and build on. If you've got developers, if they try it, they'll know what I mean, compared to, like, Cadence or Flow, which is just so much nicer to build on. So I think it really comes down to, like, what are your goals? What are your skill sets? If you've got a developer who already knows Solidity, then picking ETH kind of makes sense. But if you're looking for a developer or you're looking for a blockchain to build and you're open to the developer scope of whatever it takes, then Flow should really rise to the top because it's just such a better developer journey. It's such a better user experience. The gas fees are just non-existent. You know, the scalability is huge. So it's like, are you trying to build a dApp that can scale to millions of users? Pick Flow. Are you trying to pick a dApp that has the best user onboarding? Pick Flow. Are you trying to build a dApp that can tap into the ecosystem of NBA Top Shot, NFL All Day, Doodles, etc., and use platforms like Flowty and Increment FI? Then build on Flow. So, like, to me, I don't think the answer is as simple as everyone should build on Flow. It's figure out why you're building on Web3 and then see which blockchain it lines up with. Because, you know, like, I do think the future is cross-chain. I don't think Flow is going to be the only blockchain in 20 years. I think there's going to be a range of blockchains. And I think interoperability between blockchains, bridges between them is going to become more and more prevalent. So that also means you can start building cross-chain. So to your point, Trevor, why build on Flow? Well, maybe you've already built an EVM and now you're looking to tap into a new community and a new ecosystem. Or maybe, you know, like I said, you want to do something really exciting with on-chain logic. Like, if you try and build rock, paper, scissors on ETH, it will basically fail. Like, it's pretty much impossible, right? Which is insane. Rock, paper, scissors on chain can't be done. Like, why are we okay with that as a community? Let's stop building on blockchains where it can be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you ever considered, and obviously I know there is the conflict of interest or appearance of that, but, you know, we've seen some projects split off. You know, Doodles, for example, launched a collection on Flow. Have you ever considered that in the future for Pyland? You know, the possibility of going, you know, you just talked about depends on what your goals are. So yeah, curious if you ever thought about or considered, like, branching out for, you know, parallel collection or anything like that.
Yeah, I think Pyland definitely have it on the radar. Oh, I love this. I'll definitely try and do that.
Okay.
I would say I don't know if I know enough interest in ice cream flavors to pull that off, man. But I would say, yeah, like, Pyland definitely has it on our long-term internal roadmap at some point. It's not a priority for us just because we are trying to focus on bringing in non-Web3 people at the moment. But it's definitely something we've had long discussions about and scoped it out. On a personal level, I feel much more comfortable with it in the future than I would right now, while I'm still so heavily focused on flow. At some point, I'm going to switch back to being more on Dapper, and then I think it unlocks me a lot more to do whatever on flow and not feel the conflict of interest. Like, again, it's more of a personal thing. I'm just trying to make sure that no one has a reason. Like, when I say no one, I'm not talking necessarily about people in the ecosystem. I'm talking about people like Flowty. I'm talking about people like Flunks and Ballers. Like, how much does it suck for them if the person that you guys are coming to get advice for community or marketing or Discord or for interacting with the Flow team is also them running a project on Flow that you might see as a competitor? Like, that just doesn't feel fair to them. So, in terms of doing something, yes, in the future, for sure, not like short term, and then making sure what we do feels like it adds to the ecosystem and not extracts.
Yeah, no, makes total sense. Let's take a super quick break for some trivia and some dust giveaways, and then we can resume. So it was easy. Whenever we have Top Shot or All Day shows, it's so easy. I'm just like going through my collection. I'm just like, all right, I'll give away these moments, and it's easy. I can come up with trivia questions for this player or this player. When were they drafted? Where did they go to high school? But then, I'm trying to think of like dust themed questions and stuff. What did we do Trevor, what did we do last time? Do you remember? It was.
Can we do a flow themed one? I got a good trivia question.
A flow themed one.
Yeah, how does it work? Do you give people options, or do they just have to type the answer?
So it's They whoever types the answer first that we see is the winner. So again, giving away dust to some people, to 3 different people. So I have a couple questions queued up, but if you have a flow question, let's start off with that and just look at the comments and whoever you see with the right answer first.
Just YouTube comments, that's where people type in. I mean, look, maybe nobody will know this, so I'm going to say it, and nobody might know this. So if no one knows it, Ben, you're going to have to pivot to a new question.
All right, I got a couple lined up. Yeah. Oh no, D-Jack, I did that. You must have missed the beginning of the show.
He's got
already have something in my pocket. Again, thank you very much for that suggestion. But that was fun. All right, Dumbo, go ahead.
Okay, so maybe it's just alpha. I don't know if I get in trouble for the sharing information. So the question is, what was like the original name for Flow before it launched? What was like the code name, the working name for Flow?
Like the Manhattan Project name?
Yeah, let's choose a better analogy.
Come on, Oppenheimer.
That's a wild analogy.
What was Apple's code name? Apple code name.
I've never heard that Flow had a different name when they were developing it. I would have no idea.
I thought there was...
I'm snacking because it's trivia time. Sorry for everyone listening. You can hear me snacking.
You're good.
I don't see anybody saying it in the chat. I don't think anybody knows the answer to this.
Yeah.
Axiom Zen is what D-Jack put. Boston Base as Liquid.
It's not a bad guess, actually. To be fair, like, it's not a bad guess. Should we give like 3 options or what?
Yeah, no, don't do that because we're gonna have a bunch of people typing in. Give 3 options. Give 3 options, and again, the first person to respond with the correct answer. So Dumbo, whichever comment is first. So 3 options.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. I mean, you're right. People are just going to pick one and spam type it, right? So you have to wait. If anyone types and sends before I finish, then you're out. Doesn't count.
Okay.
Then
them's the rules.
Okay. Let's do. Okay. So either it was Cove, Bamboo, or Core. That's Cove, Bamboo, or Core. It was one of them.
All right, people. This is the first multiple choice trivia we've done on Flowty Live. So,
well, all 3 options have been stated. So,
oh yeah, Boston Base got it. It was Bamboo.
Oh, BB. There we go.
It is.
DM me, and I'll send you some dust.
One of our past Flowty Live guests from right after NBA Con out in Vegas.
Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Boston Base for hopping on a few weeks back. All right. Next trivia. All right. So this is one I had planned out. It is dust themed. It is really dumb. but that's what we're going with. And so I have two. So we'll do 2 questions. We'll do 2 more winners, and then I'll save the what's in your pocket for the end. In what year did the Dust Bowl begin?
What's the Dust Bowl?
Yeah, maybe non-Americans might not know that. Let's see. Hopefully, we don't have too many international. 2021. 2022. Y'all are off by a lot.
This sounds like something that was started back in the Wild Wild West.
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, not that far off. Oh, come on, people. The Dust Bowl? No. What?
So is this what you're on about? The period of severe dust storms that greatly damaged the ecology and agriculture of the America Prairie? Something you say that.
Rebel Seller, 1930. Yeah, the Dust Bowl was like basically the not the precursor. Towards the end of the Great Depression, it lasted like people.
Jesus,
crops died.
Oh God, work on your references. You're like, yo, Manhattan Project, the Dust Bowl, deaths of thousands. Like, what's going on, man?
I don't think there were thousands of deaths. Wait. Let's look. How many people died during the Dust Bowl? Did anyone die? Oh, damn.
BB, we had I see Rebel Seller on my end first too.
It's 7,000 people died. Yes, I'm sorry.
Google literally says 7,000 died and 2 million homeless in the 1930s. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So good shout to Ben on that, making us all think about great and enjoyable topics on a Thursday afternoon.
I'm trying to make you appreciate what we have in Web3. I know things aren't perfect, but we're not in the Dust Bowl.
In order to know where you're going, gotta know where you came from.
There we go. Rebel Seller. Rebel Reseller. Just DM me on Twitter. I think we follow each other at We Go Live in 5. All right, one more Dust themed trivia, and then we'll save the pocket one for the end. All right, which one? Do I have one that's not depressing?
I really doubt it at this point.
No. No, this is an easy one. What is the name of the small clumps of dust that form under furniture? That's an easy one.
I would know that one, I'm pretty sure.
What? Oh man, all these comments, the pictures from the Dust Bowl are terrible. Sad news. Damn it,
I'm telling you Google these things. I kind of want to Google whatever this is.
Nantucket. There we go. Dust bunnies. Shoot me a DM on Twitter or in the Flowty Discord. I also would have accepted dust mites, yes, but Nantucket got that first. I was really just thinking of like dust themed. It's hard to come up with trivia questions that involve dust. So I tried for that. Yeah,
I feel like that could get a little on the drug side too. So we gotta avoid that.
That's true. That's true. I didn't have a question that's like, yeah, what drug is dust? Occasionally called or something. All right, enough about deaths and drugs. Let's get back into it. So you mentioned before, things like account linking and hybrid custody. We're definitely curious to hear your thoughts on that. While I flash the hybrid custody Thanos advertisement, you got all the power of them, and like you said, Floaty's dev team leading the charge. So,
and I know that a decent amount on this because we were talking about this late at night in Vegas during NBA.
What? Avengers or hybrid custody?
No, you and I were talking about Avengers the other day, but Dumbo and I were talking hybrid custody late into the night one night.
It was definitely a night with a few beers, right? So, like, I don't know what I'm running my mouth about there. Hopefully, it wasn't too much alpha. Can we just pull back a sec? And I want to point out once again, Ben's reference point is Thanos, who is famous for one thing, which is killing half the universe. So, and Ben's like, yeah, let's use that. Let's throw that out.
MBL initially came to me. And he's like, yeah, I'm trying to think of like hybrid custody memes or graphics or something. Maybe something like the Avengers or like Captain Planet coming together. I just went, I'm doing freaking Thanos, man.
Captain Planet seems a lot more optimistic. Everyone coming together.
Yeah, it feels like you were like 99% of the way there, and then it's like, nah, F that. I'm going to go the other way because I missed the point of the movie. Like, I don't know if you thought Thanos was a good guy. I don't know.
So there are way too many people on the. It's just like Dwight Schrute said in The Office. There's too many people. We need a new plague. That was little did he know he knew the future. But okay, I'm gonna stop talking. My throat is hurting now.
So what was the question? Sorry, I got
about hybrid custody. What are your thoughts on it? I know that you guys just released a lot of information, and account linking went live yesterday a little bit. Like,
look who is on with us now.
Just into the right time.
Look who is on with us now. Welcoming one of the 5 smartest people I've ever met in my life, Austin. Oh no! I mean, like, he's in the chat. You guys go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
No, I'm asking Dumbo the question here. I know he's deep into thoughts on something here.
So I got a message. So the question was, I got distracted by Austin's arrival as well. What was the question? Hit me with it, Trevor.
What are your thoughts on hybrid custody?
It's exciting. So for anyone not aware, basically account linking allows users. Well, right now it's not live on Dapper Wallet. It's live on Flowty blockchain. Dapper Wallet needs to now implement it. But what will happen is in the near future, people will be able to literally just open up your Dapper Wallet account and link it to another wallet. Well, not a Dapper Wallet per se. I mean, it could be in theory, but we're talking like a self-custody wallet on, say, Blockto or Lilico. And the idea is that as a user, as an end user, you would literally just like click a button or two, job done, super simple. And for developers, it's also really nice because they can build dApps or apps on chain using these other wallets that aren't Dapper Wallet, and they don't have to worry about integrating with Dapper Wallet, right? A Dapper Wallet user can still access and use that dApp with what the NFTs they have in the Dapper Wallet through this linked account. So you think you've got your main account up here, right? And that's your Dapper Wallet, let's say. And then, you got your Dapper Wallet here, and then you've got like a self-custody Blockto or just a general Lilico account over here, let's say, and you link them. So your NFTs are in this wallet, all your Top Shot moments in this wallet, all 1,000 of them. And you want to interact with like MR Play, and you want to submit a few of your NFTs into MR Play to be like on-chain held by MR Play. So you're going to give MR Play access to your wallet, and you're going to say, you hold those NFTs, and whenever you're done with them, you can put them back. And if you need them again, you can use them. You don't want to use your main account with all your NFTs in here. You want to use this account over here. I don't know if this is on camera, so I don't know how wide the camera is.
No,
this is your main one. This is your child account over here, right? So now you can link them, and then you can say, I'm going to send a couple of NFTs at a time that can now interact with MR Play, which means that your main assets, all your holdings of other NFTs, of your Dapper balance, all that stuff is safe and secure. Right. And so even if MR Play, which I'm using as an example because we know their sound, shout out to their team, not worried about it. But if they decided to do something malicious and they have access to your wallet, it's like capped how bad that could be. So 1, it's more secure. 2, it means that MR Play can start doing really cool stuff, as can everyone else in the ecosystem, without being limited by Dapper Wallet. Because Dapper Wallet, as it's as you guys are familiar for sure on the Flowy side, users might not be so familiar, but there are certain limitations. Like you can't hold other fungible tokens in there. KYC is a factor. There's a bunch of just general regulation limitations there, which are designed so that Dapper Wallet can be super safe, super secure, and comply. Right? Like we don't want to get rid of that. But what is now happening with account linking is you can still have that, but also have all the benefits of a self-custody wallet. Now, hybrid custody takes that even further and basically says, if you wanted to, at some point, you could just turn your wallet from a joint custody with an app or like Dapper Wallet into a self-custody wallet. And so you could literally just take control of the keys. That'd be one way, or you could move it to a linked account. It's going to depend on what platform, what wallet we're talking about, right? Yeah. So I don't know how Dapper Wallet is going to implement hybrid custody, what sort of route they're going to take. But the idea is you can have your Dapper Wallet, you can link it to another account, you can move NFTs, and eventually you can just move all of your NFTs to this self-custody wallet. So what we mean, if we take I remember myself early 2021, I imagine you guys were kind of similar. When I first found out about Top Shot, I had no idea about self-custody. I didn't want to sign up to a wallet that gave me like a dozen different terms, a dozen different words that were random, dog, jump, fox, whatever, and I have to write them all down. Like, I don't want to do that.
Now we know what yours are.
Yeah, exactly. I want to start collecting these NFTs and get involved, right? So I want to use something like Dapper Wallet when I first start, which is like just email, pay on credit cards, super easy. But then after a few months, I get really comfortable in the ecosystem, and now I'm like, well, I want these assets in the self-custody wallet. Hybrid custody makes that super easy to happen. You can start off with an app custody wallet like Dapper Wallet and move to a self-custody wallet like Lilico. And they're just two examples. There's plenty out there, and so hybrid custody basically allows this really nice user journey of like new to crypto, kind of know your stuff in crypto. And I say know your stuff is like a collector in crypto. You don't have to be a developer or anything like that. So you start off day one, know nothing. That's fine. Email address, you're in the game. You can start collecting NFTs. That's awesome. Then you can move on when you're ready to self-custody, complete ownership, whatever you want to call it. Now, that's a very simple explanation. So I probably, there's going to be some teammates that are like, that's not right. But that's kind of the concept. Yeah. But when you start thinking about what that unlocks, it gets really exciting. You can imagine a world where you can like open a web page, play around on an app that's on chain, and you actually collect NFTs, but you've not even made a wallet yet. Those NFTs can be held in almost like an escrow wallet. And then whenever you decide, you know what, I'm liking this, I want to take part, create a wallet, then they get moved to you. So that's another benefit of account linking, is that you can have this walletless experience, not just walletless to sign up to NBA Top Shot right away, but like walletless to play in the ecosystem. And it gets really exciting when you think of like what people can build on top of that, because we're basically having all the benefits of Web3, security, decentralization, transparency, true ownership, with the benefits of Web 2, which is like seamless login experience, ability to switch between apps seamlessly, not having to worry about security of everything you own, etc. So the idea is that we're getting the best of both worlds and driving it all forward.
Do you think the term wallet can be like intimidating for new users? I mean, I know like first time I signed up to MetaMask, oh no, bots. No, luckily that's not text. When I first signed up to MetaMask, like I was just sort of nervous because you hear the word wallet and you always think like secure, like security, when you hear wallet, like something you always have to, be on the lookout for. And if you're not familiar with crypto or Web3, that's sort of intimidating to think of that coming together. So I don't know I'm just curious your thoughts on that at all.
What do you mean, sir? In what sense, sir?
Like, that you said walletless, walletless experience. And I think like that is going to be a big game changer, because there might be some hesitancy from, Web 2 or non-NFT people when they see, okay, you can have, here's your wallet, your crypto wallet or your NFT wallet, that I feel like it can be sometimes intimidating for someone who's not familiar with it, because Web3 is unknown, and the term wallet or the idea of wallet is something that you want security. And if you're going into something that you're unfamiliar with, I feel like that can be intimidating. So with this account linking and this possible walletless experience, I think that's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, I super agree. I think like, I'm trying to think of a really good example that everyone would know. So like, okay, so like take like Twitter. If I've got Twitter on mobile and Twitter on my laptop and Twitter on my tablet, it's really easy for me to manage them on any one of those devices. I just log into my Twitter account and I can disconnect it. So if I lose my tablet, I can just disconnect my Twitter so no one else can post these hilarious memes that I post, right? Super easy. So things like that feel very native and natural. Now, if I said to my dad, like, oh, make sure you check your Facebook account and what account over here and all this, and started using like technical terms, you just put what you want about. I'm just logged into Facebook. I don't have an account on different devices. I just have Facebook, right? And so I think hybrid custody, account linking, wallet onboarding, whatever we want to call it now, inevitably how it will feel to the user is just the same thing as like, no, I've just got an account and I can just use it in different ways. Like it's going to the user abstract out all this technical jargon that we've all got familiar with in Web3. We're all super comfortable with it, but it's going to make it super seamless for everyone else. Because again, even when like AOL went live in like the late 90s or whatever it was, that was like a big deal. People like dial up, sign in, what's going on, making an account. I got to download something, right? And then in like the late noughties and 2007 to 2010 era, we started seeing the rise of the World Wide Web in like everyday use, and there was still huge hurdles of people being like, I remember email chains that were just insane. Like people not really getting the value or point of email, right? And now everyone's comfortable with email. Then it was social media. And again, at first it was some weirdos using social media or just college kids using it and no one else really got it. And now it's everywhere and it's super easy. And I think we're going to see that same thing with crypto. And personally, I think that the way we get there is through walletless onboarding, hybrid custody, and account linking.
Yeah, I like that idea of like, it becoming more of like your account than just like the wallet itself. Though when when you mentioned wallets and everything like that, I looked at my phone and I noticed that one of the apps that came on my phone was wallet. I mean,
Apple.
I have an iPhone because it has
Apple
the
Wallet.
Apple Wallet, and it has my Apple credit card and everything like that. So I think it's a term that maybe you, like, as someone who like uses a lot of tech and everything, maybe you're starting to break down that barrier, one day at a time. So I think that, of course, it's going to be a little intimidating at first, but as we kind of get exposed to more angles of this, and maybe it becomes more of like an account than a wallet, and you don't even realize that you have a wallet created on the back end of these, it becomes something a little bit more frictionless. But I know you just responded to the Dumbo there in the chat, but do you want to elaborate there on his question a little bit more?
Oh, okay, sure. I mean, to your point, though, I do agree. And I think that the more seamless we make it, not just from like a literal click of buttons, but from a concept understanding, like that's the next thing to unblock. Like I think Dapper Wallet's done a great job at making it like in a couple of clicks, you can have a wallet and collect NFTs. Like if I show my friend Top Shot, they can just jump in and start buying these moments and have no idea they're NFTs or crypto. But the moment I'm like, oh, these are NFTs, they're like, oh, wait, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean I own them before I owned them? Like the concept is now what we need to abstract out. And I think that account linking allows that because it makes it like step by step. Like the learning curve for Web3 is like exponential. I don't know if this is going to work with the mirrored image. So it's like exponential like this, right? And so right now you kind of have to grind your way up the learning curve. There's some resources you can Google, you can watch YouTube, but like you have to put effort into it. Whereas with account linking, moving on to hybrid custody, it becomes like a step function of like, oh, this is digital collectible. Cool, I've learned that. Then I'm just comfortable here for a bit. Oh, I have ownership, so I can move it. That's the next level. Oh, I can put it in another wallet. That's the next. You know what I mean? And it makes like a step function out of the learning process. That is the exponential learning curve of Web3. But to your point about, I could go on about it all day, so I don't want to go on too much further. So Nantucket asked if this feature, does this, what we're talking about, account linking, does that open up the feature of multi-sig wallets on Flow? Specifically when it comes to communities or DAOs. So multi-sig on Flow, you can do that already. It's more a case of we need wallet providers and builders to allow that. I'm fairly sure though, like block to self-custody version must allow that. But if not, someone can build that. However, as your boy Austin shouts out, multi-sig gets way more interesting with account linking though. Like you start, so for anyone not aware, it's basically the idea is that multiple people can have access to a wallet and have signed transactions, right? So Gnosis Safe on Ethereum is a really common one. So I use that with some friends. We've got a wallet where 5 of us have access to it. We can only do something if 3 or 5 of us sign a transaction, right? So you can imagine treasuries or projects wanting to hold their funds in a joint wallet. That's one obvious use for it. I've got one with some DJ mates that is literally just like to mess around with, to get into projects together and stuff like that. On Flow, you could imagine the same thing where it's like maybe me and Trevor both put $100 in, and that's our DGen money that we'll spend on projects as it comes between us, and we share those assets, right? So then we both sign to do it. Or maybe me and Ben, or you two, Ben and Trevor, you manage a treasury on behalf of Flowty marketing, right? So you want that money to be stored somewhere safe that not one person has the sole keys for. So maybe you two and MBL all have access to it, but it requires 2 or 3 of you to move funds out of it. That's the idea behind multi-sig. So the reason I want to explain that is because when you start imagining what that could be like with account linking, you can start doing some really fun stuff. Like you can imagine a world, especially on Flow, where a wallet can have 1,000 keys, can have access to it. So 1,000 people could access one wallet, one account on Flow. And you can imagine, say, the NLL, shout out to the NLL, they might want to do something where like, hey, we're going to do a voting system. If you want to vote, if you want to be part of this voting pool on our decision, you not only need to own the Cool Cat set, you actually need to move, maybe the Lamello or one of the NFTs or the whole set into this joint wallet, and everyone who joins can then vote. And you can imagine like NFT deposit voting, which is kind of exciting to think about. And there's a bunch of other stuff. I imagine Austin could rattle off like 20 different ideas as well. But when it comes to DAOs and treasury management, it could be really exciting.
It's almost one thing that makes so much more sense to me than one thing that I don't know, never really appealed to me is the fractional NFTs. I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing, but owning fraction or a percent of an NFT versus the multi-signature the multi-signature shared account. We're at almost an hour, so let's move on. Actually, Trevor, this was a great question. Favorite relation, and we're getting more away from the technical, more into the personal. What are some of the favorite relationships you've established with communities or projects on Flow? Since you've been, we've all been here now for a while. The Blockchain Steve, if we can guess when the Cool Cats jerseys were last washed, do we get a prize? That's a good one. That's good. Are we doing over under? Like, are we talking a year, or are we talking 6 or 7 weeks? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I wear the goddamn jerseys at pretty much every Web3 event. So basically every event that you see me in pictures and stuff like that, I'm wearing one of these. It's pretty typical. So I gotta wash them all the damn time because I sweat a lot.
That's good. So yeah, Dumbo, some of your favorite relationships or best relationships you've established across the Flow ecosystem.
In particular, IPs. I know you just went to Mattel a few weeks
ago.
Right. Fun one. Mattel was fun. I'm not a huge Barbie fan. I'm not a huge Hot Wheels fan. We have them on Flow. Cool. We have Masters of the Universe as well. I just as a kid didn't grow up with the Mattel toys. I had a few Hot Wheels, but that was it. So I didn't have that nostalgic thing. I don't know if that's a American versus British culture. I don't know. But going to Mattel's HQ and seeing their office was still an absolute blast. They took us on a tour. We obviously talked work a bit, so I don't want to share too much about the work chats. But then there was let's just go tour. And they have this production area where as you walk in, there's just Hot Wheels tracks with a bucket, literally a bucket of cars, and you could just drop the cars onto the wheels. I was there for 20 minutes, just going, sorry, my cat's eating some stuff. I was just there for 20 minutes, just gave a flash in my armpit. Sorry about that for everyone. For 20 minutes, just spinning cars down the track. And then they have all this Barbie stuff. They have a life-size Barbie dollhouse just there, just chilling in the warehouse, and you could just walk around it. I was this is cool. And then you got to see them making it all in the background, behind the scenes. Sorry to interrupt, Ben, but you had there was a row of sewing machines, and then all these different threads and fabrics next to it, and there was this element of this is really cool. This is just really cool to see such an iconic name and brand and figure, to be frank, that is Barbie, that has managed to stay relevant over the last 50, 60 years, and they've just released a Barbie movie, and it's such a household name, especially right now. And to see behind the scenes, I just felt extremely blessed for that, for sure.
I thought the Barbie movie was great, by the way.
I do want to see it. Yeah, I do very much.
Really funny.
That's good to know.
I saw opening night.
We're going to see tomorrow. I think it's our first movie going to theaters since pre-COVID. Going to see the Last Voyage of the Demeter. I'm pumped for that just because I literally teach a college course called Vampire Literature. And there's been so many Drex and iterations and reimaginings of Dracula over the years. Actually, if you don't know, quick thing, that whole movie is based on about 4 pages of the book. It's Dracula's journey from Transylvania to England. So excited for that.
So just to be clear, your film of choice is also a horrific tale.
Yes. Before Vampire Literature, I taught horror literature. My specialty in grad school was Gothic. I guess you could say I'm a glasses quarter full kind of. No, it's good. It's good though. All right, we're gonna wrap things up soon, just because I gotta give the little one a bath.
So would you say Barbie and Mattel is your favorite brand that you brought into Flow or worked with on their onboarding, or is there someone else?
It's really tough, to be honest, because there's I love the brand, and then there's I love the product, and then there's I love the team. It was overdue to wash this jersey. Steve's right. He smelt me. I was a smelly boy last time he saw me. I've been traveling for 6 weeks straight. You can't blame me. So I think I don't know. It's really tough. You really put me in the spot. This is maybe the hardest question because, like, I want to just say, "Oh, I love Barbie" because I just went to HQ. But I've also had great experiences with other teams. Like, I mean, even the Flowty team. Like, I love when I get to chat to Austin and Michael because the way they think about problems and the way they're trying to solve issues, that gets me really excited, right? But that's not necessarily like an exciting IP or brand. So,
wow,
man,
thanks.
I don't know. And like, I love the NBA Top Shot stuff, right? I love when we get to work with NBA because that's such a big brand. But then it also feels like, oh, I want to do the next thing. I want to see what's coming, because I'm so used and familiar to Top Shot. So, man, you put me on the spot. It's a tough one.
So instead of like best or whatever, maybe we'll rephrase it to like most expansive relationship. So there's no.
I don't know how to answer expansive, like in terms of the best relationship. Like, to be clear, so on the flow side, we don't really deal that much with like we will help partners, right? So like the Barbie team will help, we'll brainstorm, we'll offer some support. Same with the NBA team, the NBA Top Shot team, I guess, and same with Flowty and stuff like that. But generally speaking, it's the Dapper side that I've done more of the big IP acquisitions, such as NBA and NFL. So like my interactions are always super positive and fun because I just jump on a call, we brainstorm ideas, and then they go build it. And like 6 months later, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. They did that thing. So like, I feel like I have a very biased take. I don't have to put in the work and actually do the developing and the coding and the marketing for it when you're doing it with those other partners,
You slip a $20 bill in your back pocket, totally forget about it. 6 months later, it comes out of the wash. It's crumpled up, but you can still use it.
You got $20, and you're like,
it's got free $20.
Money. It's free money. You forget that you lost $20, and you just think, I just made $20 today.
I don't. When I think of NFT, I think of NFTs as the way I think of fantasy football. I'm not putting money into a contest. It's a tax, okay? It's a career tax to be in tune with the industry. So I'm not losing money or spending money. I'm just paying a tax on it. But my wife doesn't have to know about how much. Of course,
that's how it usually goes.
That tax is.
Well, while we're on this, I know it hasn't been dug into maybe as much, but I know that the Flow and Ticketmaster relationship is one that I'm most intrigued about, just due to Ticketmaster's vast, like they have some pretty wide arms that they are wrapped around it and so ingrained in terms of like the events and culture. I mean, the whole Taylor Swift eras tour, like how that just got so big and pressed into the spotlight there, and everything that was going on with Ticketmaster there. But I mean, they're the marketplace of choice when it comes to Blazer games and everything like that. So the fact that Flow has a relationship with them is one I'm really intrigued about, kind of moving forward and how that, like, what direction it goes. Because I know I've heard of people getting like commemorative tickets for attending maybe some football games and some concerts and stuff, where it seems to be very subtle. And when we talk about some of the hybrid custody stuff, I feel like that is where it could really come into play, is people don't even realize that they're getting these tickets into their wallet to, because I at my mom's house, I had like ticket stubs on my wall there to remember those kinds of events. So having that kind of experience to me is really interesting. And this also kind of came about a little bit with the in-arena collectibles that happened. I know that one that was for the Blazers was pretty epic, since it was on the Jumbotron. You scanned it and it created an insane amount of wallets for everyone that was there that decided to claim it. But it was to really commemorate Damian Lillard becoming the all-time leading scorer for the Blazers, where it had audio from one of the announcers on it itself there. So that whole relationship there was really cool to see. And so I think there's a lot of things to remember, cool events like that in particular, especially with something like Flow, where there's a lot less friction. And I guess along that road there, we got like 2 more questions to go here. What is like your relationship with the Rams and SoFi Stadium? I know I saw you there in a lot of boxes this season for Rams games. They had the ticket or the claim with the wristbands, and also on the ring. I don't know what it is. I've never been there. Or is it with the stadium itself? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Oh man, the Rams one isn't necessarily like a Flow Rams partnership or SoFi. Let's say SoFi, because it's not. Okay, so there's so much to unpack here, but I don't know if I can, like, what I can and can't say about how the partnership works. But basically, Dapper I think through Rohan himself, like as a personal box. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. But Dapper have a box at SoFi. They have a suite. And so what that means is if the Rams play, we can send some NFL all-day collectors. When Taylor Swift's doing a concert, we'll send VIPs from the Dapper ecosystem. So the relationship's really strong. Like we're really tight with SoFi. The NFL all-day team are really tight with the Rams. Like the relationships are really strong, but it's more so on the Dapper side and the individual teams within Dapper than it is on the Flow side. Again, they're very they're friendly to Flow. You know, I can chat to the Rams team when I'm there at a SoFi event. Not the players. The players I'm not into. It's going to be a waste of time. But if they've got like a representative of the suite, we can go up and hey,
right.
We have one. I can't remember what game it was, but they brought out like the Super Bowl trophy. It was wild, and they brought that out, and the collectors get photos with it. And we chatted a little bit to the women that brought it up, and I explained that I was there with NFL All Day, but I don't work with NFL All Day. And they were like, "Hang on, what's going on? Are you actually with this team?" I'm like, "Yeah, I work on Flow." And they're like, "Oh, okay, fair enough, right?" So that's like, they're not like going to kick me out because I work on Flow and not All Day, but they're not used to working with the Flow team directly. Does that all make sense? So it's very exciting though. And to the root of your question, the relationship's really strong. We love the fact that we can say, hey, VIPs, go check out Taylor Swift. Hey, VIPs, go check out, or maybe this is Alpha, but whoever's playing next in the coming weeks, early September, shout out Queen Bee. So, like, you know, you can the benefits it has to our community, even when it's not NFL season. Now, obviously, when it's NFL season, the main benefit is we've got tickets to some of the NFL games and we can send NFL all-day collectors. I'm not sure. To be frank, I'm not sure if that's continuing next year or not. So I don't want to commit one way or another. But if it is, then you can expect to see similar sort of stuff again.
That's awesome. I know my buddy Scotty J was just down there. He flew down to LA for the Taylor Swift concert. And he was really jazzed to be able to bring his family to it. So that's really cool that you guys are. And it's not just the Rams there; it's all these concerts and other events. Going on at SoFi. So that's really interesting and cool that VIPs and others are able to attend these events for being collectors and active on Flow and Dapper Wallet and everything. We got one more question here, and this is one that I don't know how much alpha you can give for what's coming up, but NFT Day.
I think you mean Ben's birthday. I think that's what, I am accepting gifts in the form of rookie revelation moments. Okay, so
there we go.
You know, in case anyone's wondering.
But like, what is going on with it? You know, we did the events last year. What is it? What can people expect this year?
Man, the amount of like hats which I got to do. I got to put on the NFT Day hat now. So for anyone not aware, NFT Day it's sponsored and supported by Dapper and by Flow. And others as well. Last year, Coinbase, OpenSea, Animoca Brands. There's so many people that help support it. But it is like separate. It's an independent thing. So Dapper don't run the show per se, although they do support it. And so I'll be spending some of my time to help NFT Day succeed. But it's just a day to celebrate NFTs. You know, you probably heard of like International Pizza Day, or where Domino's will do like buy 2 pizzas, get a third free, or when it's International Puppy Day and everyone posts photos of puppies. The other day it was Boyfriend Day. That's cool. That's cool. I guess I didn't know boyfriends should have a day. Like, what is that? That's weird. But like, I saw a bunch of people posting boyfriends. I didn't post mine. Don't have one. So there we go. But it's Boyfriend Day, and these days are kind of just an excuse to celebrate something. Be it through financial discount from people that sell the products, be it through people that collect or take part in the communities to celebrate, or be it through just people showing off their things that are related to that day, showing off their boyfriend, showing off their favorite pizza, whatever it is. And so NFT Day is doing that, but for NFTs. And the whole point of it is to be team, chain, and project agnostic. It's not about this is for Flow. This is for it's not about any of that. It's not a Dapper Lab thing. It's just, do you like NFTs? Do you collect NFTs? Come take part. I know, no Dumbo Day, but maybe, Steve, maybe. So like NFT kind of brings people together. Like I think one of the consistent messages you hear when you chat to different NFT communities is, yeah, I like this project because of the community. Like it's just inevitable. No one's like diehard NFT collector at this point and hates everyone else in NFTs. You've got your niche, you've got your community, whether it's like Top Shot, whether it's The Gods, whether it's Apes, whether it's whatever, you've got your community of people that are like-minded. And I think to bring that together on a macro way, NFT Day is a route to do that. And then when you bring all that people together, you can then also onboard more people. So what NFT Day looks like, we did it last year for the first time. This is the second year, 20th of September. There's going to be IRL events all around the world. So you can either host one locally, reach out to me if you want to learn more about doing that, or you can go to a local one if one's already being hosted, right? And it'll be 20th September, you turn up, bit of food, couple drinks, maybe there's some talks, depending on what the host of that event wanted to focus on. It might just be purely a drinking, mixing networker event, right? And then there's also going to be some online events. Not sure that will look like just yet, but you can imagine like Twitter Spaces, metaverses, maybe some feature launches, some drops. And I'm not talking just Dapper or Flow. I'm talking ecosystem wide.
Oh, yeah.
And then, there's a dedicated website, internationalNFTday.org. There'll be Twitter giveaways, trying to get our hashtag trending, all that good stuff. And there'll also be content for people new to Web3. Like if you've got a friend who wants to learn about NFTs, in theory, NFT Day should be the best time to do it.
Yeah.
A timeline of the history. There's a bunch of content. There's claim a special NFT only on the day, and there's also like learn how to make NFT, learn how to collect NFT, etc., etc. So the whole idea is to shine a light on NFTs as a concept rather than NFTs for a team.
The one word that kept coming to mind while you were talking is just amplification. It's the day for the message of, maybe not the message of NFTs, but the community itself to be amplified. Is we can all be so fragmented with our own projects, our own companies, what we're interested in, etc. So when I think of NFT Day, I think of like amplifying the visibility just across as something general. But that great explanation, Dumbo. All right, we're gonna wrap.
Excited for that too.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing one here in Portland. We did one last year, and the event was hosted through like Eventbrite, and we had people coming in from all kinds of directions because Eventbrite itself kind of like people look on there, see what's coming up, and people are like, oh, look at this. Like I collect this other random collection, but like there's an event going on that is an NFT Day. Like, I'll slide through and kind of see what's up with, these people that probably are thinking a little bit the same, but like in different lanes of it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what is produced this next year. Last year was a lot of fun. And as Flowty does, we like to celebrate it too.
Dumbo, I might take you up on that. I gotta think hard, but I might hit you up on a Philadelphia area NFT Day thing. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's the Philly NFT group. I think shout out to Squiddy. I believe he co-founded it. I don't know if he's still involved. I know he's super busy, so I was going to hit them up. But yeah, if you could work with them, or I've got my good friend Lauren who works in Thailand. She's also fairly close. I think she's in Philadelphia or close to it.
Okay.
Wow, I just doxed her. I'm sorry, Lauren.
Wow.
Wow. Please no.
So you said Philadelphia or Philadelphia area. It's huge. Yeah.
Exactly. Her address is no. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Ben, I would love to have you doing something. Let's chat about it. I mean, we could do NFT Day with Flowty as well, right? So Flowty, and the way it works for anyone listening, if you want to host an event, NFT Day will give a small supplement of funding for drinks and food. So it's not like probably if you go super hard, it's not going to cover all the costs, but if you keep it fairly basic, it'll cover all your costs. And then we also provide content and merch and banners you can use. You have to print them off yourself, but we help you walk through that. But if you're doing it, Ben, call up Michael and be like, we're going to do one in Philly. Why don't we have Flowty have a big presence as well? And Flowty chuck a bit of money and you get some Flowty banners up, I'm
going to get his butt down here from New York. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we want people to show up, so maybe don't get him there, but we'll see.
Yeah. He makes up a dashing fellow when he gets himself all suited up. He'll be like, going to a wedding or something, looking like Jason Statham and stuff.
I was gonna say wedding. He usually posts himself in a suit when he's going to weddings this whole summer.
A dashing character. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Before we do, what's in my pocket, just please remember to like this video and subscribe to the Flowty YouTube and spread the word. All of that really, really helps. And again, we appreciate everyone tuning in. We're happy to be able to do this kind of stuff and bring on great guests like El Dumbo. So last prize that we're giving away is the Io DeSumo triple badge. And again, it's really simple. I put something in my pocket before the show. It's something that is G-rated, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and get ahead of that. It's in my pocket, and your hint is office related. That's your hint. So
stapler.
No, let the people have a chance first, Trevor.
I don't know what is in your pocket.
I know you don't.
I'm trying to think what I have. I don't have a stapler in my office here though, so I don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't have much
is
on my
is this
desk.
game that you put your hand in your pocket and you have to figure out what you're holding?
Yeah. I put. Oh, yeah. Dumbo, you will never forget me. You will never, ever.
I'm worried about what I say in court. Like, I'll be honest. I'm not worried about forgetting you. I'm worried about seeing too much of you.
I don't want to know what Dumbo's holding on to in his pocket.
My hands are okay.
No, Diamond, you got it. I don't think anyone will get the specific thing. Diamond said paper clips. It was just like a thicker clip like that, not your traditional paper clip. But Diamond, I'll accept that. I don't know if I feel like giving you the moment though. We'll...
Well, you can't hang on. You can't be like you're right, but you're not getting your prize. I don't know about that. Diamond, mate, you win.
Anyways, oh wait, who's it? Raven. Oh, Raven, I'm glad when you tune in. It's always a good time. What was it clipping?
Jesus.
Steve, man. Wait, ban? No, that's good. All right, that does it, guys. Any closing words before we get out of here?
My only closing word would be that you should start doing insane. You should put you should get Hot Wheels cars and put them in your pocket. No one's ever going to guess a car. You should put them in your pocket. That's what you should do.
Do you know how many toy cars I have with a 20-month-old at home? Yeah. That's a good thing. That's a good suggestion.
No, and a flow sticker in your pocket.
Oh, representing. Yeah, you could do. I would just say I appreciate Flowty team for having me on. I know we touched on account linking quite a bit, but anyone's listening, they want to learn more, whether you're listening live or listen later, just DM me. I'm happy to walk through it. My explanations were a little bit like rushed and trying to account for different audiences, right? Because account linking, you can explain super technical and you can explain super non-technical. So if you're a dev and you want to learn more, I can put you in touch with the team that are building it. They can walk you through it. And I know I already shouted him out, but I believe he's still here listening live now, or at least he was earlier. So big shout out to Austin. Account linking wouldn't be on Flow, wouldn't be here in as good a way as it is. It wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for Austin. So big shout out to him and the Flowty team for supporting the Flow team's efforts there. And shout out to Diamond and everyone else that listened, except for Steve, of course.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Trevor?
I was going to say, really appreciate Dumbo coming on here. I know he referenced the Go With The Flow podcast we recorded. Even though it was audio, we did record it video. So we were talking to each other face-to-face then too. So I love having Dumbo on here. We've met up many times in person now over the last few years. And I think he even came on some Rip Pack City spaces once upon a time. So we've done a lot of content together. And, he's a reasonable person in general, despite what you may think.
he's a reasonable person, and Trevor can be tolerated in small doses. That's... on that note, actually, just a reminder: if you missed the show, or if you only got part of it, you can go back and rewatch it. But these shows are also always converted in podcast form, so just subscribe to our podcast feed. I believe the link is in the description. If it's not, I'll go and post it in there. But again, thank you everyone. Dumbo, thank you so much for coming on. This was a great convo. Trevor, we got a lot of good stuff to clip from this, because this was gold. And
not as many F-bombs.
Not as many F-bombs. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You guys you're gonna close your video and you'll be like, that effing guy talking about the effing.
I'm just gonna scream it as soon as this goes off.
You're gonna DM me on Slack just a bunch of F-bombs. Yeah, right after the show. Yeah.
Not even related, just because it's standard Thursday activity for me. To insult Ben. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I super appreciate you, Ben. Congrats on joining the Flow team. I know it's been a minute now, but we've not properly connected since you joined. So congrats on being part of the team. Trevor, congrats on somehow still being on the team, and hopefully we can chat.
We're less than 2 weeks away from 1 year with me here. They've been stuck with me for a year now. I can't believe it.
It's crazy because I was just saying to Michael, the last 11 and a half months on Flowty have been the worst ever. I was like, I don't know what it is. I can't find one.
No, there was an uptick. There was an uptick about 4.5 months ago when someone joined the team.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a little uptick. No, honestly, I did. I'm only here and succeeding as much and enjoying this because of on some onboarding and conversations with Trevor. Major shout out. Couldn't do all of this without you.
Appreciate it.
All right, enough of that stuff. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next time on the next edition of Flowty Live.
Peace.